Can you hear me now? And let me make sure I'm in the right place. You people, I mean, honest to God, you are the most patient group of people. There is no Diana. Can you hear me now? And let me make sure I'm in the right place. You people, I mean, honest to God, you are the most patient group of people. There is no Diana. Can you hear me now? I swear, I need to, I need. I was totally on the wrong page. So you guys have been here, and oh man, I'm a dunce when it comes to this. I don't know why this has been so difficult for me, but I thought nobody was here, and now y'all are. Yay! Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you for trusting me. Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. Hello, Marcia, Beth. Boy. Glenda. Hi, Glenda. Annie. Oh, gosh. I'm a turkey. Okay, so what I'm doing is I just I'm going to push my screen down. That's what I'm going to do. I just ordered a camera, a webcam, and I found a different way to do it. Do this live streaming, and I finally got it working. I was using, if anybody else is trying to live stream with Wirecast from their phone and you're too far from your router, skip it, okay? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I got bad advice. So that was my problem. So I just thought I'd do some watercolor. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to look up into my camera. Let me see. Yeah. The other day I had a class, and somebody had the Fine Tech metallic watercolors, and they are fantastic. I have the, what are they called? Gansai Tombi, just the metallics. And they were not, they're really nice. Don't get me wrong. They're really nice. But they were not quite as wonderful as the Fine Techs, which I ordered and will be opening soon because my birthday's Monday. From the Merry Artist. I will leave a link because they're only $20 from her. And thank you, Jill, for that. I think it was Jill Faust, who might be coming on later. So what I've got here is just some odds and ends. Marcia Lehman was here last week and brought me this great stuff, which is, what is it, Marcia? I think it's, oh, drywall tape. Drywall tape. And it's sticky back. So I was working with it on here, which I really love the look of. It almost looks like it just disappears and becomes a part of the background because it's so thin when you pull off the adhesive backing on it. So yeah, really nice. Thin stuff. It's like using tissue or something like that, which I think is so nice on for paper on collage. So what I've got here is I've got my watercolors all wet and ready to go, and there's a delay, so I can't tell how much you're able to see, and I hate delays. Yeah, so I might get this a little squinch bit higher, so hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get another book. I'm really looking forward to getting, yes, Marcia, it's drywall. Oh, drywall joint tape to be used it. Okay, so let's see if this is better. Like I said, it was supposed to come last night, my new camera, webcam sort of thing, but it didn't. So I just couldn't wait another minute. I had to do this. So anyway, okay, I think that looks a little bit better. How's the quality isn't as good as I'd like it to be, but we'll get there. All right, so what I'm thinking about doing is, this is lightweight paper. It's actually from Winsor and Newton, and I haven't tried it yet. It's been hanging around. It's like the Arches Laid, which I love that paper for collage because it's lightweight watercolor paper. And in fact, this is it right here. This is the Arches Arches Laid, and this, it's whiter, which I do like, is the Winsor Newton. So let's see how it's supposed to be a watercolor paper. So let's see how it takes watercolor, shall we? I thought my goal today is to paint some pattern paper for a project I'm working on. And that's what I thought we could just paint away, and I could just give you some tips. I just dipped into, you can't see everything here. We can get rid of this. So let's see here. Make it as so you can see as well as possible. So I'm just going to paint some stripes here. Let's see how this works. That's kind of nice. Let's see, I've got a dirty and a clean glass of water. One's for rinse, one's for, I guess, transparency, you could say. Let's see, what color should I ditch in there? Let's make a whole bunch of colorful stripes. Ooh, see, I just painted some water. I just laid some water down, and now I'm moving it along. I just did a watercolor class, watercolor wildflowers class the other day. That's a bit primary, isn't it? Let's see. Let's put a little bit more. Blue, and I'm going to add some, of course, I just messed up my dirty and clean. Okay, so now my clean water is now yellow. What next? Ooh, I shouldn't be doing that because this is actually supposed to be patterned. All right, I'm just going to paint over here. Now look, when you are painting wet and wet, like I just did, if you try to get too much, you need to balance your water to paint ratio here, because it's going to start to, now I'm really liking that bleed there. So there's another drop. I didn't actually mean to drop that, but there it goes. Okay. I'm just putting water here on the edge so it bleeds, because to me that's much more interesting than all line. Although I should be reading the comments, I know. that is that. This is that teal blue, which is a beautiful color. Let me see if I wrote it on the side. I'm pretty sure it's core. Maybe not. I can look it up. Maybe it's Daniel Smith. Oh, it's just fantastic. Anyway, let's throw some yellow in there. And I've got a lot of water on this brush, so I don't know how much. There. All right, I need a rag. Let's see. Let me look at you, see if anybody's. Yeah, gotcha, Glenda. Brave. Oh, yeah. Super grave. Brave, grave. I'm also very grave. Very. Where are you going? Where are you going, Glenda? Oops. Oh, gosh. This is not the most. All right. This Viridian is really neat color. It's a great color for mixing. I just ran into a lot of water there. So I mopped up a little bit of it. I'm going to let some of it go away. And I'm going to add some, this is indigo. I love this color. This is a Daniel Smith indigo. The golden core indigo is really nice. It's just a lot different than this one is. Let's mix some of that in. There's a lot. Pink, yellow, skinny straight. I'm going to have to wait for some of it to be dry. Okay, I'm thinking this is beginning to look pretty cool. I'm going to fill this in completely and then let it dry. I might do a plaid on top of it. Not a, you know, obvious. Ooh, that's really neat. I love the way that happened. When you're working with watercolors too, you can always lift stuff up. Just clean your brush, dry it down a little bit, and go through and pick stuff up. Like I want a little separation here. And then I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. I love the edge that's forming. This is one of my favorite things about watercolors is the edge. The edges. Just mixed a whole bunch of mud there. Blue. Okay. I'm going to try something else because this is sitting right next to me. I'm just going to try. Yeah, that's cool. It's just my bone folder, but it could be any kind of a hard thing. Because the paint is wet, It's dragging it through, but it's also creating this nice little darker areas. Okay, so I'm just going to take this all the way up. And that just made those drapes more interesting. I'll probably let this dry and then go through and do some more to it. But at some point, you might need to let your watercolor dry, and you could use a heat gun. I think that a lot of stuff disappears with a heat gun when you use a heat gun. But yeah, that's nice. That really kind of closes that edge there. But this is going to go into collage anyway, so it's going to go into my collage fodder. Now that skipped because there wasn't enough wet paint there. So let's put that aside. And this is I think, by the way, that paper took that pretty well. We'll see what they took. Blooms. It's taking, seems to be, the edges are feathering really nicely. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes and then come back to it. Big old fingerprint. Big old blue fingerprint right there. So let's make some spots. I need another clean water. Okay. So I'm going to make a really light wash. Really a lot of water. Right there. Bigger. I don't know if you can you see this? It's darker than I wanted it to be because I didn't really, I want you to be able to see it. And then just drop some of that in there. And let you bleed out. Bleed out. Sounds like a true crime story. I wish I could hear your voices. That'll probably be next, do you think? That will be next? Make a nice circle, just put your brush down and twirl. Let's do that again. Brush down and twirl. Some color so you can see. I want to blend these colors though, so I wanted to keep that sort of dry. Ooh, there's a lovely bit of brown in there. See what a great circle you can get? You don't need a stencil. Let's see here. So this is going to be cool colors, obviously. Yeah, nice. There's a crease in this paper right there. A light crease that I got when I stored it in my drawer. I should have put some muddier colors in there. Okay, and here. That has gotten a little bit dry. Okay, let's let it just run a little bit. Let's see. Anybody still here? No. This is not the best setup in the world. Oh. Thanks for checking back in, Lindsay. Oh my God. Let's see. Bainbridge Island. Glenda, you're going to Bainbridge Island? I would die to go to Bainbridge Island. I should ask if I can teach there. I think it's hard to get in there. You should tell them I want to teach there. And then I'm really just amazing. Nothing like self-promotion, is there? So let's see. You know what? I want to make some smaller circles on this page. Oh, there's a chopstick. Oh, let's try this. All right. So right here, you can't see. I'm going to just dent the paper though. And while I'm here, it's the same thing as the bone folder. I'm denting the paper. Ooh, that's cool because I went into that puddly area. It's watercolor on my finger. Okay. Okay. Let's see. No, it's a muddy color. Nothing wrong with muddy colors. Just learning to control them is really the trick. I like the way that's bleeding away. Yeah, I've got 3 dirty colors of water here. Let's add some mud to this. Let's make a little mud, see what happens. Should have added some water to it first. So that should, it's actually giving me a nice purple color. I thought I really need more. I could add some orange here. Add a little bit of orange right along the edge here. A little bit. Too much. Rinse. Now that's more of a brown, so if I add more blue, it will go gray, which is, that's my preference, is to make grays rather than browns. So I'm just gonna put that aside for the moment and use this sort of, need a swig of tea. I've got blue here. This was just a practice piece I was in from my class the other day. And okay, so if I have orange and blue, there's, the more orange you put in, the more the warm color you put into it, the more brown you're going to get. The more of the cool color you put into it, the more gray you're going to get. And browns and grays are really important. It's often the if you're not used to mixing the colors, it can be like an unwelcome surprise. But they make the color pop. Like they make the color next to it pop. So if I put that in there and then went into some, okay, let me put this, you're not going to see it really, but they're important. Let me just leave it at that. They're important in painting. I like them anyway. Look at that, just streaming out. And this is what I love about watercolor. This is what brought me into watercolor so many years ago, and just, it's like I can't let it go. So I can just finish playing some of this. Just to let it play and see what it's going to do is, you could have some idea of what it might do. Then again, you don't necessarily know. I'm going to take this and add some mystery color. I have too much water on my brush. There's a ratio there. I think I'll go into it with, I like this technique today. Now this is heavier paper, Strathmore. So I'm going to turn this upside down. I think there's an animal here. This is tail. This is feet. This legs. Let's see. Let's see if I just see what's on the page. I'm reading the comments. Ooh, Lindsay's going to have a watercolor project coming up tomorrow. That's great. I love Lindsay's channel. It's really something for everybody. She knows all about live tech difficulties. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone there. You know, as to being live, you know, I think partly I have like, I don't care what fool I make out of myself. Eventually I do. But basically, oh, 12:30 tomorrow, Lindsay's doing a live stream. Hi, Linda Ann. Glad you found us. 3 from Oklahoma in the house. Okies on board. I'm in Philadelphia, if you didn't know that from my accent. From when I said water instead of water. There was this very strange lady at the deli counter yesterday, and she said a half a pound instead of saying, like, I go up to the counter and go, yeah. First I say, hey Ashley, how you doing today? Then I say half a Swiss cheese, half a Swiss is all you have to say, really. But anyway, accents. I don't, Las Vegas. Glenda, are you in Las Vegas? Why did I think you were, well, I guess Las Vegas is the West Coast. Live retreat at, hi, Andrea. Oh, okay, Glenda. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you the truth. On the live retreats, I'm going to be in Connecticut at Art Is You retreat in October, but I can drive there. It's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive for me, and my husband actually drives because I'm such a wimp now about all this stuff, and it gets so tiring to drive. I'd say I'd like to go to places, and I would kind of like to go to places, but I have no idea what I'm doing. It's usually the best way. I don't know that I really do. I think I want to go places and just be on vacation. If I didn't mention this earlier, my 60th birthday is Monday. So I'm pretty excited about turning 60. Anybody, any 60-year-olds in the house? I know there are some. I know that some of you must be 60 or older. Let me say. Oh, hey, Kim from Canada. Glenda, you're 66. You seem so young. But then 66 gets younger and younger every year, I think. Yeah, so. Oh, what time is it? I can tell I'm getting tired. It's been kind of a rough couple of weeks around these parts. I'm just going to go ahead and just do this on top. I think this will begin to tie this background together a little bit. Sometimes if you have a piece like this that's just you've just been messing around with and not really paying too much attention to, an overall pattern on top will tie the whole thing together, like boom. So I'm sort of avoiding some areas, and I'll probably put this aside and get out another piece of paper. And actually, this is inspiring me to get out another piece of paper right now. So, yeah, that was wet watercolor, wet, very transparent watercolor in wet paint. So that's a great look, though. That's a great look. So I could just go in here into some of these areas with wet watercolor and make some of those dashed lines, you know, lighter rather than darker. But I'm going to actually put that aside because I just got, that gave me an idea for working on that thing. Now, what this is this is that Eco Dye series. There's some watercolor papers in here. Let me pull some of these out so you can see some of them. There's a lot of bigger pieces than this. Is that? Who knows? So, like, this is 2 pieces sewn together, stitched together, and that's just run through my machine with no thread, so there's just holes there. Now, I got to tell you that this piece right here, this was pokeberry and paint ink, pokeberry ink. I squished pokeberries. If you've been following me for a while, you kind of know some of this. But even in a closed bag, that has faded dramatically. It was really pretty bright red. So that is, you know, I wouldn't use pokeberry on these because, so this was all pokeberry. And actually it's really nice, but it was not my intention for that to be that light. So this is some leaves dyed and whatnot. So that's what I'm painting these for. I want sort of the man-made and the nature-made together. Sounds very highfalutin, but yeah. So I'll be stitching some of this together. I'm really trying to build this up into. Oh man, look at the color of this. That was probably had some iron in it. Beautiful edges. This is mostly 100% Stonehenge paper because it was just the perfect weight and the perfect. Some of this is definitely watercolor paper. That's definitely watercolor paper. I think I'm going to add something to that. This is definitely Stonehenge, and that's just so light and airy. I love the way that came out. That side's nice too. Okay, so I think I'm going to add some, let's see, I need to wipe some of this out. It's pretty grungy. I'm going to grab a baby wipe here. This area right here on my palette always gets grungy because, I know, it just does. Okay, that's clean. And all right, so what color do I want on this? I think I want a dark red. Not dark. I want to see how it takes the color to. It's a liner brush. I think that's what it's called. Script. I've got in my birthday presents. Don't you love it? Really, I told everybody what I wanted because, you know, there's a nice purpley color, and I'm just going to add maybe a little more dark. I don't need much color for this. And I'm going to take that yellow. This is why this area gets muddy. And you can see that, maybe you can't see. Okay, so I don't want, I'm just putting dashed lines on here. So long. This is a, you know, these Simply Simmons brushes, I've had these for quite some time, and they are perfectly great brushes. Really. There's so many brushes these days that are really pretty good. The technology has really improved in synthetic brushes. Now, you're never going to get the kind of loadage. If by loadage, I mean, you know, like this brush. I love this brush. But it's a Princeton brush, and that's a really good brand, Neptune. And it's partially, you know, I don't know. This brush and this brush, the Escoda Versatile, these are part synthetic and part natural hair, so bristle. So you're going to get a really great load of color with these. But for the most part, I have a few nice brushes, but for the most part, and for years, I've been using Princeton art brushes. So I have to say, it's really not, this one, I've had this for years. What's it say? It's Princeton. I like Princeton brushes. They're good. It is not about your brushes or your paint. This is a scepter, and this is sable and synthetic. I have to tell you, I'm not nuts about these scepter brushes. I was kind of not nuts about them because you see that? You see how that's separating? That makes me unhappy. That makes me unhappy. That should not be separating there. So that happens, and this is, I think this is Princeton. No, Winsor and Newton. It's a scepter, Winsor and Newton. Not happy at all. And I spent like birthday money on this a couple years ago, and just not been happy with them, which really bugs me. Because I go, you know, you go and you lay down some good money, and that kind of thing happens, and it makes me mad. But I do want to let you know. I mean, it works okay, but and once you get it really wet, it doesn't seem to do that. But it just doesn't have that range where it stays nice. And it should. I mean, I didn't pay that much money for it, but enough to make me all upset. This is when my kids always chuckle when I get onto a rant like this. But that's another scepter gold. And again, at some point, those bristles are all going to separate, and it really ticks me. I just, again, I can't wait to open my birthday presents. I got a Menso 2. I'm actually getting 2 Menso brushes. So I'll be demoing those 2 really skinny little Menso brushes because I want to try this painting on postcards. What's it called? Etagami. It's a Japanese, a very small Japanese tradition. That run. Ooh, it's like a bunch of trees. Ooh, it's like a bunch of trees. Oh yeah, that is like a bunch of trees. Anyway, Etagami. Has anyone heard of the Etagami? If you haven't, you will be. It's not a threat, really. So I have to do a project on, what paper is this? This is the Winsor Newton paper. I'm going to lay this back down again. So what time would be a good time for you guys? I know some of you are at lunch. Breaks around noon. Oh, thank you, Beth. Happy birthday. Big what? Who's going to be the big something? I am loving the 60s. I hope so, because I'll tell you what, the 50s have sucked. I mean, hashtag sucked. So I'm hoping that the double nickels, that's what we call it too, Beth. Double nickels. We have a birthday party we had. Like, yeah, that's funny. My aunt calls it. What brand of watercolor is that? Tube colors or pan colors? This is tube colors. And in fact, I'm going to grab, I think, where are they? This studio is a mess. I don't know how it gets like this. I swear I don't. Oh, there they are. I'm coming back. I have not put these away yet from Saturday. Now, I use tube colors. I'm going to put down here. I'm sorry, I'm missing out on a lot of chat. This is why I wish we had audio, so we could have like a talking stick. Okay. Yeah, this is, I use and love Winsor & Newton. I think, did I just make a post about that? I did. I made a blog post about that, and I listed Core. Core is Golden's brand of paint, and you know, it's really good. And still they have a good price out on it. I think they are trying to get into the market, and so their price is good. This was, I have all sorts of brands in here, and that I really can highly recommend. M. Graham is wonderful. They use honey as a binder. If that's, I don't really, they don't dry out as quickly. Daniel Smith is very good. What's that? Daler Romney. Somebody sent that to me, and it's fine. Yeah, Daniel Smith. The Core is great. I really highly recommend that, especially for the money. They're just perfectly fine. And Winsor Newton, if I didn't mention that, has a really nice brand. Now, as far as other paints go, I have lots of different palettes. They're all in the other room. But if you're just starting out and you want to start out cheap, I'm telling you, Prang makes a great palette. Ready to go. A little harder to find than Crayola at the stores, but for my money, I would go to Amazon and get Prang. The colors are not as beautiful as, say, the Koi colors, but they're so much more pigmented. I also like a lot I have a travel set of Luca's, and that's really nice. But these are all high end. If you should read my blog post. I'll list it up here. It's over on my blog. It's probably right at the top too, because you know, right? I just posted it because I had a watercolor class. Now I'm going to move down so I can read comments and see if anybody has any other questions about watercolors. One of my favorite papers is Strathmore 400 series, and they carry it at the big box stores. Now I'm looking for my glasses. There we go. That was my big setup. Okay, so let's see. Canadian. I'm just reading that Canadian here. A. Let's see. 57, Kim. Yeah, you still have a. Oh, Thursdays are generally not good for me, but happen to be home today. Time of day is not so important at this time for me. I love, Lindsay loves M. Graham Core and Turnit. I've never even heard of Turnit. Turnit. Okay, I'll check into that. I'm writing myself a note. Um, yeah, Lindsay, any other, how did you try out the Prima watercolors? I noticed they came out with palettes. There's always new palettes coming out. I'm getting a lot of stuff for my birthday, and one of them is the Gansai Tombies palette, and they're actually pretty decently priced. Now they're a Japanese palette, Japanese company, so it's packaged beautifully. I hear the pigment load is good, and I'll review them when I get them. Every year there seems to be a new brand of paint that everybody's talking about, and right now it's Mission Mielo or something, Mijello. I don't know. I'm not going to buy stuff because I have a ton, and don't jump on every bandwagon. Let's see. Twinkling H2Os are really fun. It's Prima are like koi pans. Okay, so if they're like koi pans, I like Sakura. It's great, puts out some great products. But anyway, student grade but inexpensive. Okay, so that's good. Student grade is good if you're just getting started and you don't want to spend a lot of money. Get the koi then. They're fine. They're just not very highly pigmented, and they have a really nice range of color. Twinkling H2Os are really fun. Koi, yeah, try the koi. Glenda says she likes them. A lot of people do like them. Yes, Glenda, use what you have. I'm actually definitely, I've made some purchases and asked for some things for my birthday, and I really like using what I have, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that. I always do a lot of that. I try not to buy something new because because I don't want to jump on every bandwagon that comes along. And so that is all I have to say about it. I love Twinkling H2Os, right? And they are funny. They are really fun. I never thought I would love shimmer and glitter, but I do now. It's something new for me. Lindsay's heard of everything. Lindsay really keeps on top. M. Graham, yeah, turn it. Okay, did I write that down yet? I want to write that down. Although I have to say, I'll look for them and look for reviews on them, but I probably won't spend a lot. I don't spend that much money on reviewing stuff. The reason I am interested is the Gambai Tombies is that I started using some gouache, and I had used Japanese watercolors like, I want to say 30, 40 years ago, and I was a little put off by some of them are transparent, some of them are more gouache-like. So yeah, so you have to be aware of that. So I'll do a thorough review. The ones I got from Jet Pens, looking, I think that everything's over in the other room. If you've never heard of them, I think I reviewed them, so I'll put a link up in the corner. I'll put some links up in the corner. I'll add some cards to this, and they were pretty good metallics, and I think I showed you at the very beginning of this. So anyway, I'm going to take off because I've got to do some other stuff. I have one deadline coming up, and that is a journal page on Germany, which was, I didn't know what to do. So I have that, and then I have a class on Saturday. And the studio looks, honest to God, I'm going to show you. The studio is a dump right now. I don't know how I do this. Look, look what a slob I am. And I don't even bother closing drawers sometimes. Okay? So this is my, actually this, while I'm upstanding here, this is my studio. I don't think I've ever given a studio tour. But this is my studio, which gets boiling hot in the summer up here. I don't know how I'm going to do live broadcasts. And I love my studio so much. Like if I have a friend or just one student or come over, that person can sit there, and then I can even put another table up here, and we can just be in this really lovely little space right here if I have just one or two students. And there, over there is the absolute disastrous mess of my classroom. But there's enough space for six. Oh, Kitty. Teddy's here. Hi, Teddy. Say hello. Teddy comes up and visits me. Anyway, so, yeah. So it's up on the 3rd floor of my house. And there's our lovely neighbor's lovely backyard. Anyway, I'm probably making y'all dizzy. Oh. Anyway, so that's it for me today. And my new camera is coming on Friday. So next week, oh, and I'm putting up the Art Snacks video soon. So next week, there'll be a definite live video, another one. And so thanks so much for stopping by, folks. I loved having you. Glenda, the Gambies are the ones that she likes. Turner. Oh, Turner. Oh, Turner, like the painter, has a set of 18 for $29. Oh, they're a sponsor, but that's okay if you like them, Lindsay. So anyway, folks, thanks so much for coming by. I'm so glad that I had a non-screwed up live stream. Live stream. I hope you guys had fun. Don't forget to do that thumbs up thing and hit that subscribe button if you liked what you see. Hell, hit it even if you didn't like what you see, will you? Just do me a solid. And I will be back soon, very soon. And goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Oh, wait, I need to go on live. Oh, shoot. Now, how do I do that? Oh, jeez. It's fraught with landmines around here. Let's see. What happened to that other screen? There it is.